DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
The former All Black coach Ian Foster now happily ensconced in Japan with Toyota Verblitz. They've just had pre-season. They're gearing up for a brand new season. He's back home in the Waikato for a few days before Christmas and joins us. It's always a pleasure, mate. Great to see you.
You too, Marty. Good to be back for a few days.
Yeah, it's only a few days. How come?
Oh, we just finished quite a long pre-season. We just got a week off for the players and go back on Saturday, and then we're into it. You know, we've got our first game against Kubota on the 22nd of December, and then she's all rock and rolling until the end of May, hopefully, or early June when the final is. So let's see how we get on.
So how long's your pre-season?
Well, it started in August, so they're quite a long pre-season.
What? October. That's about 4.5 months.
Yeah, well, I wasn't there for the whole lot of it, but it goes from being very hot in August, September to being quite cool now. But, yeah, it's just the way their season's structured. And to be fair, it gives you a really good chance to actually get stuck in and do a bit of work with particularly the younger players. A lot of our international players are only just starting to turn up now, but it's been a good time.
Okay, so just to update people who don't know, who are your superstars? Who are your big international names?
We've got a little halfback called Aaron Smith.
You're not bad.
Who's not too bad. We've got Peter Steph Toy from South Africa.
Not bad.
Who he turns up soon, but he's got an injury, so we'll see how that goes. We've got Richie Gray, the Scottish lock. He's been outstanding since he's turned up. Joey Manu from
of course, that's right. Yep.
Good Tokoroa boy, and so he really enjoyed working with him, and he's learning a lot. And then of course you've got some pretty high profile Japanese players. You know, like Himano, our captain, he played for the Highlanders for a season, I think, in 2021. And there's a number of other players at that sort of calibre. Josh Dixon from the Highlanders also over there. So there's a few names. Chan Falcon from Hawke's Bay, ex-chief. So there's a few, Marty.
You enjoying it? I mean, I'm just getting the impression that you are. You loving being hands-on again?
Yeah, and look, I love coaching, and it's been I gave myself a decent window of time after the World Cup, like I said, just to wind down and just to figure out what was next, and really decided I thought clubland was the way to go rather than looking at the international stage for a while, particularly with a real desire, I guess, not to coach against the All Blacks at least for the near future. So that's why I am where I am, and don't regret it for a moment. I'm really enjoying good people up there. It's a club highly motivated. They probably haven't won a lot in the past, and this is they see this as a real opportunity for them. So excited by their ambition.
How good is it to be out of the limelight, the microscope that is being All Black coach?
Yeah, look, it's different. It's particularly there's still media over in Japan, and so just because you're not being talked about in New Zealand, there still is media in the rest of the world, Marty, talking about the game. But no, it's a real shift down in terms of that. It's been nice going to a market that you can walk around and no one knows who you are. But it was always part of the job with the All Blacks, and it's not something that I sort of I regretted or didn't like. It just became part of the scene. So now I'm in a new market and I'm doing different things. But I'm sure the pressure will ramp up as the season goes on, because you're still playing for a club with high ambition and they want to achieve things.
Look, I want to make that point clear as well, because I think it's important to make. It's not like you didn't like it or you didn't absorb it or you didn't welcome it or you didn't understand that it was part of the job. I mean, being the All Black coach is a hell of a buzz, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt, and it's, but 12 years with the All Blacks and 4 as a head coach, there's obviously a lot of pressure on and a lot of scrutiny during that time period. But let's just say you don't get surprised by it when you're in the job. It's coming, and it's and now I'm in a different environment with a different degree of scrutiny, I guess. But it doesn't it doesn't change your own internal values or your own internal desire just to do a really, really good job. And that's all I'm really focused on.
Do you also accept the fact that, once you've been in those high-profile positions, they're never going to leave you? Like, I should imagine that there are media questions where up in Japan where people want your opinion about various things, whether you want to give it or not, is another thing. But you're always going to be an All Black coach. Yeah,
I think so. And that's part of the journey. We've got different chapters in our lives, haven't we? And and it's one that I look at fondly. Really proud of the 12 years, and so, but also, being just out of the job, only by 1 year, it's sort of, Japan's been quite a good place for me because I haven't, they're getting excited about their own rugby. They don't sort of focus and spend all day talking about New Zealand rugby. And
right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I get that.
And that might dent our ego for a bit, but it's but that's the reality. People, they have their own excitement levels in different countries, and for me, it's just a matter of, enjoying the moment over there. It's been nice I really have chosen not to offer opinions too much on Blacks in the last 12 months. I just don't think it's my role, and I'm just getting excited about the new one.
In terms of you and your coaching, what do you notice about yourself when you put your boots and your trackies on and you go to training and that? What has changed before and after since the All Blacks, the way you coach?
It's funny. I don't reckon a lot's changed. I think you grow as a coach. You go through different experiences, you find things that work. But when I get out on the park and there's players there, there's obviously language barriers, and you've got to deal with translators and all that sort of stuff. But what's excited me is that, coaching's coaching. Our job is to help a group of people get connected and united and to try to achieve something. And along the way, we try to find out what skills we need to grow and then help them grow. And so that's kind of the job. And I think, whether they speak Japanese or Kiwi or Australian or English, whatever, it's I think the job's pretty similar.
Look, it's far too easy as well from this side of the microphone. You work in the media and everything else. You just get so overwhelmed and engrossed and suffocated in it, thinking that everything you think or every question you've got is very important and things. And I suppose, what a long-winded way of saying, hey, how much of a toll did it take? Did it take on the family? Or are we just assuming that it actually did? Because you look as though you're in great spirits. You look as though you're in great health. And obviously you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I am. There's challenges in terms of being away from extended family. We've just had our second little grandchild, which is really home to see a new little granddaughter. There's things like that are normal challenges that people have when they elect to work overseas. But look, I think, like I said, I think there was a lot going on in my time as an All Black coach, and certainly there were pressures there that were probably a little bit unique to perhaps what other All Black coaches have had to go through. When you look at COVID, that sort of stuff, and then you look at other things that happened, but you spend a lot of time reflecting on that and looking at the way I handled things, but to know that we had a full backing of a group of men that wanted to go and achieve something pretty special, and I think we left the All Blacks in a good place. I think there was a lot of younger players coming through in that World Cup that I think will be there at the next World Cup, and that probably got a little bit lost in translation at the end of 2023. I think that this was an All Black team that had the ability to really grow and get even bigger and better. I think so. Here's hoping that's where they go.
Now, one of the things I've always liked about you, and I've told you this before, is I love the fact that, you're so dignified about it. You never spat any dummy about it or anything like that, the treatment or anything and you just, does any of that still linger for you, or have you just let all that go now?
I don't think you ever, I think the key thing, Marty, is I've moved on. I think it's really important not to let things that you can't control you, and I'm not going to. There were things that happened. People acted in ways that I disagreed with. I think people were pretty clear that I did disagree with them, and that's all you can really do. Is you just got to say your piece and then just go and do what you need to do. And I was pretty determined to not let other people's decisions change the person that I was. And so have I moved on? Yes, I have. Have I forgotten everything? Probably no, I haven't. And but that's probably for another day.
Looking at that team that you're involved with from 2011, because I want to ask you all about the Japanese club and the players in a second, but that team, and this is a debate that the whole world of rugby is having at the moment, between 2011 and 2019 especially, and comparing that side to the South African side at the moment. Have you spent any time thinking, I reckon our blokes would beat them, or comparing sides or anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, I've probably never been good at doing that, I don't reckon. I think I've enjoyed there's no doubt the Springboks are a great team. Mm-hmm. I don't think it makes our team from 2011 to 2019 any better by saying that we were better than the current Springboks. I think that you can't argue with the fact that they've won 2 World Cups in a row. We won 2 World Cups in a row. Probably what happened between World Cups is a point of difference. And, we can get fixated on the World Cup things, but the big thing for the All Blacks was about having to win everything in between. And I think if you looked at the numbers of and the percentages in between World Cups, that 2011 to 2015, 16, 17 type team was probably hard to beat. But, the sad thing is if you say one team's better than the other, it's like you're knocking the other team. It's hard to knock it, but I think that the Springboks have still got some growing to do. I'm sure they know that. And, they dropped a couple this year that they'd probably be disappointed with. But there's no doubt that they're a team on a rise.
It's going to be a hell of a match at Eden Park in September, isn't it, mate? You've got to come back for that. I'm sure that the NZR will just lavish it. They'll have you in the lounge and everything else. But 50 tests in a row and the Eden Park record up for grabs in that one. It's enormous.
Yeah. Well, I'll wait patiently for my fight.
Same. I'll let you know when mine comes through.
And then figure out whether I'd want the invite or whether I'd just prefer a seat in the terrace with yourself.
Okay. Aaron Smith, I want to ask about Aaron. How well is he playing? Because, we also have this myth here that, heck, our rugby's the best. And so, of course, if you go to Japan, you're not going to be as good as when you left this country. How good is a guy like that, for example, at the moment or coming into this season?
Oh, look, he's still class. He's trained the house down pre-season. He's had I've actually almost wanted him to slow down a little bit. He was going too hard, but he really is determined to make an impact over there. He's still playing great codes. And, we manage his minutes pretty well. And, the good thing is that you've got a chance with some of the older athletes not to play them all the time, so that when they do play, you're hoping to get the best out of them. And he's really focused and determined and playing some good rugby, but it's a different type of rugby too, Marty. So it's a little bit hard to compare. But it suits Aaron. It's fast. It's physical, and it's played low to the ground, which suits the 4'2" midget that he is.
Joey Manu. Now look, we all were just at Joseph Swatali, the way that he was playing for Australia, especially that offload against England and things, and just the potential of that guy. Joey Manu is obviously this, similar kind of player, just a beast of a physical specimen, and I say that with all the love in my heart, as well as, all the skill sets as well. And obviously, we all want him to come out of Japan and perhaps put an All Black jersey on at some stage. What's the kind of progression pathway for him that you see, just in the immediate term? Maybe not long term, but just in the immediate term.
Yeah, well, I think he's, first he's coming and learning the game. He played a bit as a kid, so he knows a bit about it. But, it's a lot of instincts he's got to get right. So we know that the transition from league to rugby doesn't happen overnight. But he's picked it up real quick. and we're looking at playing him in the sort of fullback wing role to give him a chance to get used to things. But he's played nearly all our pre-season games at centre, and dealt with the defensive things of that really well. He's still perhaps struggling to find the space that he wants in attack, but he's doing a great job. And as for what his path is, I don't think he really. I think he's just really enjoying the moment right now. He wants to spend a couple of years learning rugby and getting used to it, and then I guess revisit what his options are. So, I haven't spoken to him about. I know he is ambitious, but I think the good thing now is not to get ahead of yourself when you're making a big transition. Just to do what he needs to do, and that's what he's focusing on now. He's got his family up there now, and he's loving the experience. And once we start playing, he's got some good midfielders around him. We've got Sai Fafita, who's in the Japanese national team. He's a great player. We've got Nick McCurran, originally from Tararu, who's over there. He's been in the Japan team as a 12. So there's some good experienced midfielders around to help him as well.
Can we learn anything from the lessons of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and his transition, which was difficult into second five or into the midfield for the Blues and then the All Blacks as well? Is there anything from that you're thinking, okay, this worked, that didn't work?
Yeah, look, it's and you also put Sonny Bill in that category.
Yeah, good point.
And probably a little bit closer because of the type of athlete, a tall athlete, but so the answer is every athlete's different, Marty, but some of the instinctive stuff is stuff that we've learned, like how to rather you can't stand off a breakdown that's happening next to you, you've got to go in. And there's things like that you've probably got to get right first. So spend a lot of time on that part of the game. Because let's face it, we don't have to deal much with his ball control and his handling and his offload and all that sort of stuff. He's quick, he's strong. So it's about the running lines and the instinctive stuff around the breakdown, like knowing when to go in, not to lose feet, how to jackal a ball. And it was quite good against Yamaha last week. I think he won 2 jackals, which was the first thing for him. So that's some big strides for him. And so no, I think he's going along well. And I think history shows it's not an easy transition, but it also shows that people like Sonny have done it and done it really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we talk a lot about Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, but let's face it, he did become an All Black, and he played well enough to be there. So he wasn't too far off. But but I know Joey's trying to cut his own path, learning well, and that's all we can ask.
Has there been any contact at all from the All Blacks or New Zealand Rugby about him? Because obviously, everyone's keen on him, and at some stage you are going to get a call, or Shag's going to get a call, or someone's going to get a call, and some questions are going to be asked.
No, I haven't spoken to anyone about him. So I read a couple of articles here a while back saying why the heck is he going there and why isn't he going to New Zealand and all that sort of stuff. Well, you have to ask Joey that. But Toyota Verblitz is the organisation that wrote the check out, and that's where he wanted to go and get out of the limelight and just have a go at this game. And I think it's a smart move, because I think if he came too early here, the microscope would be on everything he did. And sometimes as a country we can get judgmental pretty quickly on athletes who are trying to with their career. So I think Joey's pretty level-headed. He's got it sorted, and we'll let him make the decisions. And
judgmental on coaches too, my friend. So what's it like? What's it like working the old guy again, mate? Is it good fun?
Oh yeah, no, we're getting on well. So it's I'm not. Did you say good fun?
Yeah.
No, we're enjoying it, and it's it's been very busy. He's busy doing his thing, and I'm busy doing ours. But we're connecting really, really well, and it's nice seeing him in a different environment. He's he's not relaxed. It's still we're still under pressure to do things well, but he's really motivated and we're enjoying it. Also, captain. We're also working with Nathan White, a guy I used to coach. He was a prop for the Chiefs in my early days. So there's a few people there that I know well, and enjoying that experience.
A couple more questions and we'll get out of this. So right at the very beginning of this, you said that, the international coaching thing, it's on the back burner for now. But obviously, you are a head coach. You're an All Black coach. At some stage, do you want to again be the head coach? And if you did coach, it would have to be against the All Blacks. So how does that all work inside your head?
We don't spend too much time on that now, Marty, because you can get too confused. But I think I've been through that process over the last summer and decided this was the path I wanted to take.
So there were international offers?
Yes, there was. And so, but no, for me it was that this was, I'm excited with the choice I've taken and this next little block of time that I'm with Toyota. That's where my goal is just to do the best I can there. What happens after that, I don't know, but I'm certainly not saying no to anything. But I've learned in life to, things like contracts and all that sort of stuff aren't that important when you're coaching. I think what's important is that you just be where your feet are, you enjoy the moment and love coaching, and that's all I want to do. And so I think we'll review that decision in a couple of years' time.
Did you mind ever go back to that night in Paris, mate? Were we robbed of that final?
Oh, yeah. You can tell by my body language that, yes, I do go back to it. You can't not go back to it. It's and I go back to a lot of pride with where the team got to, and to get to that final on the big stage and get so close was actually so proud with that, but also incredibly disappointed that we didn't cross the line, and I like to focus more on things that we could control, about things that maybe we could have done a little bit better. And so I think if you kid yourself that you were robbed, you end up becoming a little bit cynical and you end up blaming other people for it. So for me, it's we did what we had to do, but we weren't quite good enough to get the result, and that's the game. And that's probably what World Cup finals are about, Marty. They're about tension and drama, and so you'd have to say I delivered that pretty well.
I want to say thank you so much again for giving us so much time. I love talking to you, mate. And look, and also just that there's an enormous amount of aloha support, affection and respect for you back in this country. Don't ever think that there isn't, because there is, mate. I
appreciate that, Marty, and appreciate the support and encouragement you give me, and I don't say that lightly. So let's go on to the next chapter.
Look at the both of us. We're doing all right, mate.
We are. You're vegetarian, and I probably should be.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on the granddaughter. All the very best for the season, mate.
Thanks, Marty. Speak soon.
DSPN.